Hey there. I am Allegra of Allegra Stein Coaching, and I wanted to hop on live today to just share some thoughts for new coaches. Now, it's possible that you are currently getting certified and wonder what comes next, or you've been certified maybe within a year or so, and you are deep into this question of how to build a coaching practice and get clients who will pay you. I have been there. I was certified in 2012, and I have been on quite the adventure over the past 7 years, learning about how to build a coaching practice at the same time that I've been becoming more masterful in the craft and art of coaching. So I want you to try and imagine that you decide you want to become a teacher, which I have done. I was a teacher before I was a coach. And when you want to become a teacher, you usually start with some kind of certification, a training, you get licensed, and you get this foundational skill set about how to teach. And then you go into a school, a functioning, running school. There are people behind the scenes and the administration who are running that thing, and you're given a classroom. And within that classroom, students come to you. You don't have to go find students. They just show up. And you have this space within which your job is to get better at being a teacher. That's all you got to think about. You can try different lesson plans and learning modalities and ideas, and you learn how to connect with your students. And it's an incredibly transformative and rich time of discovery and learning and application. As coaches, though, I think it's safe to say that industry-wide almost, though there are always exceptions, and I should just stick to what I know and what I've seen, there's this idea that once you get certified, you then start building a practice. You start building a practice, you start making money, you get clients. It's like magic. It just suddenly happens. But what that really means is you get certified, and then you got to go build a school within which to practice your craft. So not only are you trying to now spread your wings as a new coach and get experience and build confidence and try new things, you are also at the same time trying to build this container within which to get clients, to make money, and have all of it run just like nice and smooth. I was there, and I remember just feeling like I was this new coach, this new little hatchling, so vulnerable and excited about this new path that I was on. But very quickly just was like, and now I got to build a business. And I discovered at the time, and I think it's still the same now, that there are a lot of maps out there that you can invest in that will show you how to be successful. There are a lot of programs and courses and businesses and coaches that will say, follow this map and you will achieve success. And we don't know any better. So we're like, okay, I'll just pick this map. And we get on, we start doing it. And what happened for me was that the map that I chose, and the map that I picked in particular, was around building an online business. So if you have any experience with that, it was like a tidal wave of new skills and information and things I had to get good at in order to make my coaching practice work. And for me, not for everybody, because they were good maps and great programs, but for me, they never really clicked. I would work hard, I would think hard, I would coach myself through it and just try, and it never really worked. I never made it work because it just didn't feel natural to me. And at the time, what that turned into was self-doubt. What that turned into was me thinking something must be wrong with me. Because here's this map and this path that I do believe works for people. And I trust the person who's given me this map, but I can't do it. So there must be something wrong with me. I'm just not cut out for this, I would tell myself. Eventually, I just was like, I just want to coach. I don't want to do any of this build business practice stuff, but this is the only way, right? And that's where I started to get stuck, was thinking it was the only way. It took me a while, but I finally pulled out of that. I finally realized and started to restore my self-confidence that I was actually able to carve out a path that was in alignment with who I am. But I believe having that level of self-awareness at the beginning would have changed things for me. I think that what's missing in that gap between being a new coach and starting a practice is a very kind and focused and positive attention on what is right with us, on first strengthening the muscle of self belief, of a knowing that we have these gifts that we are bringing into our work, not only as coaches with our clients, but also in how we choose to build our practice. So, there are four things that I want to share with you that I think are really critical to know about yourself, and that I encourage you to spend some time getting clear on before you make any more decisions or investments or start telling yourself more stories about what's right or wrong about how you're doing your work. First, get clear on your strengths. Okay. You have some beautiful natural talents that you bring into this world. And knowing what those are and really learning how to embody, express, and communicate what makes you different, what makes you special is very valuable. It's like gold. It builds trust and credibility and relatability with those clients who are thinking about working with you. You can use an assessment like the Clifton Strength Assessment. That's the one that I prefer and I use in my work with my clients. And it's going to show you what your top 5 strengths are of 34. You can also find out what your bottom 5 strengths are. That was very enlightening for me, and I actually loved it just as much. On the business side, knowing what your strengths are is going to help you start to filter the different maps that are put in front of you around how to reach success in your practice. You're going to be able to start saying like, well, is that path going to maximize on what I'm already good at, or is it going to ask me to kind of work in a pocket that's more of a weakness or where I just don't have that natural alignment? The second thing you want to get clear on is your values. All right. You're going to want to know what is most important to you and define those things. So you're going to want to go deeper than just saying, oh, I value family, or I value harmony, or I value commitment. Like, what exactly does that mean for you? And how are they prioritized? What is the most important? What's at the top that you just do not want to have compromised? When you know what your values are, when you can say them out loud to others, one, you can filter for clients who have those values that you want to be reciprocated in your coaching partnerships. But two, and I think even more interesting on the journey, is you can start to look for and select business paths and business programs and development courses that are going to be aligned with and honor your values. For example, if you value harmony, inner balance, and love and connection towards the top, if you're like, that's really important for me right now in my life, and you find a business course that you sense values achievement, hard work, and challenge, that's not to say that it might still not be a fit, but at least it'll give you a bit of a clue. And you can ask questions of the program, of the coach, of the teacher that are going to help you decide if what they're doing and how they're going to teach it and the path they're going to lay out for you is going to be a fit for what's important to you. Have you ever signed up for a program and it makes you like fill out an application, or it says you may be a good fit for this program if? What if you were able to write that for yourself? You might be a good program for me if. I might be willing to give you my time and energy and money if, right? You fill out this application, it turns the tables and it puts you in a position of empowerment, knowing what is right for you rather than hoping that the path you go down is the right one. Third, uncover what your skills are. Know what skills are preferred and motivating for you. That does not mean the things that you are good at. A lot of times we spend time doing things we're good at, but then we end up getting burned out because they're burnout skills. So being able to specifically say, this is how I want to spend my time. I want to spend my time doing more creative, artistic things, like skill sets and ideas. Or I love doing administrative project development skills. And there are categories and very individual things that you can pinpoint within there that's going to help you just, again, remove some of the drama and the guilt that we oftentimes bring upon ourselves for not loving every part of building a coaching practice. You're not meant to. But being able to label it and to say it is going to be very clarifying for you. And it's going to help you down the line when you maybe want to hire someone to help or bring on a VA. You can specifically say, I need someone who's going to do this because this is not what lights me up. Finally, knowing what your personality-based interests are is such a lovely lens to add into all of this. Your interests are going to define what motivates you, what inspires you, what kind of qualities and energies you're looking for that are really important and that you need to feel like you're in the right place. I have one of my traits is like artistic, and I love ideas. I like trying new things. I like flexibility. And this was so helpful to discover because retroactively, I was able to understand why some of these more structured, rigorous, timeline driven, deadline driven programs never really worked for me. It wasn't because there was something wrong with me, and it wasn't because there was something wrong with that program. It was simply because it was trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and it just wasn't going to work. That combined with my fear that it was the only path really just kept me feeling stuck for a while until I started to learn more and talk to other coaches and read about different approaches to building a coaching practice and being self employed and discovering that I could choose and craft and create and choose a map and a path that was in more alignment with who I am. And I know that if I had known this stuff about me starting out, I would have saved myself time, energy, money, and mental anguish trying to force myself down paths that were not the right fit for me. They weren't the right fit. There was nothing wrong with me, and there was nothing wrong with the path. We just weren't meant to be. So I wanted to share this with you. I do coach clients through this discovery process. I use a framework called UMAP. It's incredibly powerful. And I have month-long coaching partnerships where I really help new coaches uncover these beautiful gifts about themselves as a starting point, as a compass to turn to on the adventure ahead as you build your practice. And if that is something that you would be interested in learning more about, I've shared the link below where you can set up a time to chat, or you can share any questions in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you and hope I've given you some good stuff to think about. Talk again soon.